Unit 4, page 3. What happens to a body system when it doesn't function correctly? Think of a disease that you know of. Try to identify the cause of this disease. Can you tell which body system is most affected by this disease? Please list an example on your paper. Some examples of diseases might be asthma, which affects which body system? Hopefully you said respiratory system, because asthma affects the lungs, and the lungs are an organ of the respiratory system. You could have also said a heart attack. Since this affects the heart, it would be part of the circulatory system. Function versus malfunction. The function is how something works. For example, the digestive system functions to break down food and absorb nutrients. Most of the foods we eat are polymers, and we need to break them down into monomers. So things like proteins get digested into, hopefully you said amino acids. Starches would get digested into glucose, and fats or lipids would get digested into fatty acids. Hopefully you remember each of these main macromolecules and what they get digested into, because again, that's the function of the digestive system, to break these down into smaller nutrients so that they can diffuse into the bloodstream. Sometimes things happen to disrupt functioning of our normal body systems. These disruptions we call malfunctions. A malfunction usually results in a disease or, even worse, death. Some malfunctions of the digestive system: constipation. Again, this is when the fecal matter is too dry or there's not enough water in the digestive system. Diarrhea is the opposite, where there's too much water in the fecal matter. Appendicitis, so this is an infection of the appendix. Gallstones, you can have solidifications of bile and cholesterol deposits in the gallbladder. This sometimes can result in part of the gallbladder being removed, which means that then the person has trouble digesting fatty foods, because bile is a substance that is needed in your digestive system to digest fatty foods. Some malfunctions of the respiratory system include bronchitis, inflammation of the bronchial tubes from dust or other inhalants. Asthma, this could be an allergic response, and it basically narrows those air passageways so that fewer molecules of oxygen can enter the bloodstream. Emphysema, the actual structure of the lung can change, where the tissue and the cells degenerate, or meaning that they start to die. And this is caused by pollution, but it also can be caused by excessive smoking. Malfunctions of the circulatory system include high blood pressure, otherwise known as hypertension. This is an increased pressure in the arteries, which can lead to a heart attack. A heart attack is the blockage of the vessels to the heart. So they deprive the heart of oxygen, which causes those muscles to stop contracting. Anemia, this is when there is reduced oxygen carrying capabilities in the bloodstream, and that could be because of either iron deficiencies or lack of red blood cells being developed. Leukemia is cancer of the bone marrow, something a lot of students don't know, but your blood comes from your bones. So within the bone marrow, that's where blood cells do develop. Malfunctions of the excretory system. You could have a kidney disease, which results in damage or disease of the kidney. It causes buildup of toxic waste in the blood. Our kidneys are really important to help filter out toxins from the blood. And without working kidneys, you would not survive. So people that do have kidney disease or even kidney failure have to go under a special treatment called dialysis, where the blood is filtered for them. It's a very painful process. And so it's very important that we take care of our kidneys. Gout is inflammation of the joints. It's associated with buildup of uric acid crystals, which can lead to kind of an arthritis-like pain. Some malfunctions of the nervous system include meningitis. This is inflammation of the membranes surrounding the brain and the spinal cord. A stroke. This is caused by a cerebral hemorrhage, which basically means hemorrhage means the bleeding, cerebral referring to the brain. So some sort of bleeding in the brain resulting in brain damage. And strokes, it's very important that anybody experiencing a stroke gets medical care immediately because some of the damage is reversible if immediately addressed. Malfunctions in the endocrine system. The main one that the Regents is really going to talk about is diabetes. When the body cannot sufficiently use food as energy because the lack of hormone insulin or a blockage in the functioning of insulin. Insulin is a hormone that decreases blood sugar level to keep your body in homeostasis. So, for your Edmodo post, remember you're going to identify a body system.